Welcome to episode 26 of the Gingerspyce Tiefling Druid. In this episode, I'm going to be soloing the Epic Elite Demon Queen raid, and I'm going to be doing something I've never done before, and that is solo it on Reaper mode, on Epic. And I am level 26. Let's take a look at where things are. The gear has changed dramatically since the last episode, because at level 26 we have access to legendary green steel. So I am now rocking a legendary green steel 5-piece ender set. First, I've got the Torque, who's the same as last episode, as is the Heroic Pansovic Circlet. This is the first piece of the legendary green steel set, the goggles, and when you go for certain set bonuses like the ender set or an opposition set, and I can't really talk about go into details of those, how to do those sets, because it's fairly intricate and not something I want to do in the confines of this introduction. But to work towards the ender set or the opposition set and the material set, which I have, there are very limited configurations that you can do. So among my choices, for this piece I chose to do blindness immunity, fear immunity, and death block. The next piece of gear is the same, the Epic Red Dragon Plate Armor. This is the old school version out of the Vault of Night raid. Here's my second piece of legendary green steel, bracers, and for this one I have it with 3 tiers of electric resistance. Again, there's not a lot of options. If you're going for certain set bonuses, you're limited to just certain attributes that you can put onto the different tiers to work towards the set bonuses that you want. Still have my crafted Constitution ring with a little bit of false life on there. This is the next piece of legendary green steel. This is triple fire, and this gives 3 tiers of fire resistance. Legendary green steel gloves. This is triple positive, and this adds significantly to the unconscious range. So 128 plus 64 plus 32, so what is that? 96 plus 128. That's 224 extra unconscious range, which is pretty awesome, especially for a tanky toon like me. This is the same as last episode. Got ghostly and lesser displacement on the same item, the Epic Elite Ring of Shadows, slotted up with a globe of true imperial blood. And here is the last piece of the legendary green steel. This is a triple earth, so it's got acid resistance on all 3 tiers. Now, there are 3 different set bonuses that I'm getting with the legendary green steel. The first one is that I'm getting the opposition set bonus, and and that comes from the constituent pieces that are used to construct the legendary green steel. So you can see like where it says that first bullet point, green steel augment equipment tier 1 earth opposition material. When I say opposition set bonus, I'm talking about that opposition right there. So I have opposition in all of those pieces, and what that gives you is massive stacking hit points. And so I'll demonstrate that by taking off all my gear, all my different pieces of green steel. You can see my hit points will drop significantly with every piece. So 1667 without any of the legendary green steel on, and it jumps all the way up to 2147 with all 5 pieces on. In addition to the big hit point bonuses, and the more pieces that you have with opposition, and the more of a hit point bonus you get, I also have the material set bonus. And when I say material, I'm talking about, if you look at the first bullet point, it says green steel augment equipment tier 1 earth opposition material. It's that material gem that the more of those that you have, it contributes towards the material set bonus. And what that gives you is, if you look at all the way at the bottom here, spell critical multiplier, acid 35, cold 35, and so on, that gives me a 35% damage boost to spell critical damage. Not spell critical chance, but spell critical damage. And in addition to those opposition and material sets, when you have both of those sets going and you have 5 pieces of legendary green steel equipped, you get what's called the Ender set. And what the Ender set does is it basically acts as a Vorpal for any kind of attacks, including spells, if a mob has less than 5,000 hit points. And it does proc a lot when mobs have under 5,000 hit points, and the visual that procs with it looks like a Finger of Death. So if you see Finger of Death going off, and you probably won't in this episode because I'm not fighting a lot of trash that could be insta-killed, but from this point forward, if you see that, and I'm soloing, then that Finger of Death is not a Finger of Death, it's actually the Ender set proccing. For mobs that have more than 5,000 hit points, it adds stacks of vulnerability, which is pretty nice. Alright. So for my feat for this level, I chose Guardian Angel. And so this is a defensive feat. It says when you drop below 50% hit points for 30 seconds, you gain physical resistance rating equal to your wisdom score. So in this case, I would get 72 PRR. And saving throw equal to your epic level. So in this case, I don't know if, I guess it would be +6, because I have 6 epic levels, and this won't trigger again for 3 minutes. So it's basically, you know, another layer of defense when I drop below 50% hit points. That kicks in. In addition, similarly, my Shattered High Pass Life also kicks in when I drop below 50% health. I get the 25% incorporeality. So it's just, you know, if I start getting beat up, those kick in automatically, and those things help me stay alive, which is really important when you're a tanky kind of a toon. It's your job to stay alive. Alright. So nothing's changed in the Reaper trees. I'm going to respec at level 27. As far as the quests that I've done, I finished flagging for web, and I did a couple gibbers runs, and then I did the pre-raid on R1 just now. I just did it on R1 because I was worried about, well, there's only one shrine in that quest, and I was worried about my mana, you know, lasting long enough, and that was the right choice, because, you know, R1 took all the mana that I had to complete. I didn't have any problem, you know, standing up against DQ at the end or anything like that. It's just, you know, my 2,900 spell points was all used up, and then some, because I had to use all my clickies too. Nothing changed on the enhancements, so let's do the raid. Alright, we're going to try this on R3. Seems reasonable. I soloed it on R3 on Heroic, so, you know, that's kind of why I'm selecting R3. We'll see. I've never soloed this. I've never soloed the Epic raid on Reaper. I've soloed Heroic Reaper and I've soloed Epic Elite, but never on Epic Reaper at level 26 from max Reaper XP. So we'll see what happens. Now we got a shrine coming up, so we can mana dump here. Just do what needs to get done here. And I chose, you know, this because You know, there's still a lot of folks out there, whether you're newer or, you know, you're just a long time player and, you know, maybe you don't raid a lot. There's still folks that are, you know, intimidated by the idea of soloing a raid, even when it's a raid that's as simple as Demon Queen. And I say simple just because, you know, it's just, you know, basically a boss beatdown in a little room. You know, it's not an elaborate raid. You know what I'm saying? So, and I want, you know, my videos are in large part about showing you what you can do. They're not about what I can do. I want you to see what you can do. So I want you, you know, if you're not already soloing raids like Demon Queen, I want you to see that you can do this. You know, there are a lot of folks out there that the idea of soloing, you know, Epic Demon Queen raid just seems like not even on the radar. For other people, you know, other veterans, maybe the idea of soloing Epic Elite Demon Queen raid is trivial, but for a lot of players it's not. And like I said, I want you to see that you can do this. Now, you know, I'm going to do it on R3, hopefully, but, you know, you don't have to do it on R3. You can do it on, you know, Epic Elite or Epic Hard or Epic Normal. You know, if it's your first time, just do it on Epic Normal. You know, heck, do it on, you know, Heroic the first time. You know, just so you get a feeling for what it's like to be in here by yourself, you know. Used up all my mana just on the starting hallway. Because, you know, there might be gear that you want out of here. Maybe you're wanting to make your Torque epic, or maybe you're, you know, whatever. There might be a piece of gear you might want to make your Staff of Arcane Power epic or something like that, and it can be hard to get a group going for an old raid like this, you know. So knowing that you can solo it on your own schedule and on your own terms, that's great. Oh, let's go ahead and drink that. And let's go ahead and hit that clicky. It's not one we can do in combat, because it involves changing out our armor, and I wear heavy armor. That doesn't swap out very quickly. Okay, let's do this. I really have no idea how difficult this is going to be. Like I said, I've never done it before on Reaper mode solo. So I've soloed on Epic Elite many times, even at level 26 for, you know, for bravery bonus, but I've never done it on Reaper mode on Epic. So this is first time, new experience for me, and I'm sort of learning, you know, can I do this? Oh, I thought she moved, and there she is. So the archers are no big deal. You know, when I did this on Heroic, I got rid of the archers because I didn't want them pew-pewing me while, you know, the Demon Queen is beating on me. But they're actually not too bad right now, so I can leave them there and they can torque me up a bit. You know, every time they hit me with an arrow, there's a chance my torque is going to proc some spell points. Okay, here she comes. She's getting some hits on me. So that's not something that can be blown off, right? Gotta take her seriously. Nobody said I had to take those Ifrit seriously. Woo! Okay, it's starting to look like I'm probably going to have to drink pots for this. That's fine. You know, I didn't come in here to try to save on mana pots. But we'll see what happens. You know, I didn't talk about the legendary green steel weapon I'm using. I'm using a legendary green steel with 3 tiers of wisdom on it. That's legendary earth. And so that's a high wisdom. At one time it was like the highest wisdom item in the game. And it used to be my end game weapon back, you know, not too long ago. And just a couple years ago. And it does a nice amount of extra, you know, acid damage. You can see it's stacking an acid dot on her. Any mobs you hit with spells, they have a chance of getting extra acid damage. It's at about 40, so we're making some progress. That was close. Oh, now she's going to war. Time to get serious. So we've got Greater Creeping Cold. She's immune to 4th level and lower spells. We've got Storm of Vengeance. I probably, you know, should have hotkeyed my mana pots there. Well, let's go ahead and hit the oh shit button. What the hell? We've got the tsunami. Word of balance. So you can do fire seeds too, huh? I probably didn't even need to drink that potion, did I? Well, that was cool. Like I said, that was my first time doing that on Epic Elite Reaper. And, you know, I can't emphasize enough that this is not about, you know, what can I do? It's about what can you do. So, you know, if you've never soloed the Demon Queen raid, if you're nervous about it, just do it on normal your first time, you know, just so you get a feel for what it's like being in a raid by yourself. You know, if there's gear that you want, you can do it. As always, if you have any questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube. And if you have any questions about my build, you can respond to my build post in the Druid forum.